Hello Year 11 and welcome to this, the fourth video in our fifth topic here. We're looking at the effect of outliers today. Now an outlier is a score that is significantly higher or lower than the rest of the scores, and previously when we've learned about these things we've just kind of done it by eye and said, yeah, I think that one's fairly obviously outside of our data set. Now sometimes these come about because they are an error, because they have been sort of collected incorrectly. Other times they do belong to the data set. They're just, a bit unusual. If they're there by error, we might remove them and redo our calculations without it. That's what we do sometimes. But what we want to look at this time is a more precise way. And by precise, I mean sort of repeatable and calculated in a way that two different people will always arrive at the same answer if they follow the principles correctly. So a precise way of identifying outliers. Now it's kind of wordy here. 1.5 times the interquartile range above the third quartile, or 1.5 times the interquartile range below the first quartile. Makes a lot more sense, I think, when we do an example. So here are some scores. I need to know which are outliers. Well, unordered scores, there's quite a lot of them there. You've got to rewrite them in ascending order. That's quite computationally difficult or, time consuming. I'm going to, come back to my calculator. There's the last calculation from the last video. Second function 9, 3 equals AC to get rid of them. Now I'm going to put them in. So mode 2 for stats and 1. I don't have a frequency column, so I'm not going to put it up on the calculator. I'm just going to type these in. I've got 11 and 8 and 12. Video, I've put all my scores in now, right? There we go. All, how many was it? All 22 of them, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 22 scores. Right, AC. Now, I want to find a couple of things. I need my quartiles, not just for the interquartile range, but for something else. So I'm going to say Q1, oops. I really should have read what was on that screen. Is 11. Okay. Q1 equals 11. And Q3, I should say the third quartile. Right, back to it. Q3. What do we have to here? 5 and 5 again is 16. Which means that my interquartile range is 16 minus 11 equals 5. Now I need 1.5 times that is 7.5. Now I need to add 7.5 to this and take it away from this. So 11 minus 7.5 equals, what's 11 minus 7.5? It must be 3.5. So that is my boundary now for outliers. Anything less than 3.5 is an outlier. But at a glance, 7 looks like the smallest one, so we don't have any outliers at the bottom. 16 plus 7.5. Right, so this is Q1 minus 1.5 lots of the interquartile range, and this is the third quartile plus 1.5 times the interquartile range. Is 23.5. So anything above 23.5 is an outlier. And if we go along here, whoa, there's one. That's it. Okay, so what does it ask us to do? Test which scores are outliers. 25 is an outlier. That's all. Rightio. So, there we go. Hope you enjoyed. Not too long this time again. Of course, a reminder, if you have any questions, jot them down, ask me in class. It might help to rewind and watch the video again, certainly, do all of those sorts of things. Check the notes, check the textbook. You can do all of those things, but jot down some notes so you remember and ask me in class. Thanks, guys.